So, Visti, merabai, or how we say in Serbian, brate moj.
Brate moj.
Brate moj, yes. It is an interesting phenomenon. I read some online articles from Indian sites and so on, and I didn't saw Visti, I didn't saw Sanjay. I saw some other, I know, astrologers and so on. Of course, this is a joke for me. You are the at the top of the mountain, but the thing is, there's some nebulous names, right? So it's clear that most of the time these are the business people actually who apparently are working on the marketing and paying for advertising and so on. Most of the time, not the real astrologers actually. So the first question about this phenomenon is to which extent actually does this harm the tradition and what Jyotisha primarily is?
It's a bit of a complicated question.
Yeah.
Not because, I say complicated because of some other facets of astrology in this topic. Firstly, I would never speak ill of somebody who is studying astrology and trying to make it part of their livelihood. People who are sincere should be encouraged. Of course, for clients, it's a dilemma if the experience or abilities of that astrologer are questionable. Okay.
Right.
But sincerity is very important here. All right. Sincerity is very important. And I say this looking at this being an astrologer, looking out at other people who practice. But yes, of course, you will have people who are maybe not very experienced, and the question is how seriously they take the subject. Maybe they do not take the subject seriously and use it as a means to earn money through consultation. And it's unfortunate for the client if that astrologer is not sincere. I look at it this way. There are two ways to gauge the abilities of the astrologer you are seeking consultation from. Obviously, you should hope for that the astrologer is also interested in solutions for your life. And again, that's a bit of a sensitive topic because I know many astrologers who do not give remedies. Are they insincere? No, they just weren't learned in remedies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they try to give other solutions. I have heard an approach from people who know how to give remedies, who say that remedies are really not easy for people in the West to follow, so they don't give remedies. So instead, they being educated within a realm of coaching and psychology, use that as a means to help the client, which is complicated for me, where I was being pressed upon to learn remedies, and I know remedies for people who also don't know how to do remedies.
Yes.
And is every remedy mantra meditation? Some people try to do mantra and meditation and go nowhere. It's possible. That doesn't mean that nobody can meditate. If you can sleep and learn how to sleep consciously, you can meditate. But how do you know the remedy will work? Right?
Correct.
Maybe something is interrupting you from doing a remedy, a mantra. How are you able to go into that deep sleep of meditation with a mantra? Oh, wow. If you can, you're better than most people who do japa in India. All right? If you can. That's amazing if you know how. TM, wow. Fantastic. Yeah. But the thing is, a good astrologer will want to give you a solution to your life because of their sincerity. So how do you gauge the sincerity of an astrologer? They're interested in giving you solutions, which is also part of their training, hopefully.
Yes.
And there are many astrologers who publish work, write books.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Or produce some form of publication that shows their knowledge, their academic forte. That's annoying for a client because now that you have to research who has done any publishing work. All right. So you want to look at the credentials, and the credentials hopefully will depict what works they have also published or contributed in some form or the other.
Right.
All right.
Right.
I would hope that astrologers, Jyotishis, would be willing to contribute more in public or avenues so that people know that they have the skill that they have. Now, when it comes to Jyotishis, I can be a bit black and white also. I can say this. Who are they a student of? Which tradition do they come from? All right. Oh, no, they don't have any tradition. They don't have a teacher. They're self-learned. That should raise some flags.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Because I'm sure there are some very sincere self-learned people, but it is self-learned. So they don't really have the backing of anything other than experience at best, research and experience at best.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Which means that it's a work in progress. I like to think all Jyotishas are a work in progress. It's a long study of life, you know. I'm studying things like, what is the karaka for distinctly when you sleep at night and also get woken up at night? Is there a karaka for that? You know? So details. Every small detail I want to know. All right?
Beautiful. Yeah.
So it's a long study because you're studying life. All right? So if the person starts off that study with only research and wisdom and experience alone, it needs a lot of research and experience, a lot, even if they're sincere. Okay.
Indeed.
So I could be very black and white and ask, are you respectful towards the people who taught you this subject? Do you list your credentials and where you came from, which is the way of the material world? Show your credentials, show where you went to school.
Yes.
Show your diploma, show where you came from.
Yes.
Okay. Show who you learned from, at least. That's the way that works in this planet, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily speak of your ability. You could have great teachers and you are very poor in using that information. It also happens.
Yes.
So I like to look at two things. Number one, where did you get it from? All right. Number two, how are you presenting it?
Yes.
If you catch those two, you should have a good gauge of the quality of the astrologer. If somebody is only credentials is they have been on TV, you should think, are they an entertainer? Are they only an entertainer?
Yes.
If their credentials are that they have good advertising, again, good entertainer, is it?
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So where is the rest? Where's the rest for us to substantiate their ability as an astrologer? Does that answer that question?
Definitely it answers, because this was more from an angle to remind the viewers, actually, in a way, in those frivolous, ways that some astrologers actually use. Okay. And it's a kind of a caution thing, because for all those in a process of choosing actually an adequate astrologer. And you mentioned the upayas in one moment, the remedies. So my question to you, this is a very interesting one. We spoke about it, you and me, previously. Can we, in a way, have a kind of approximate insight, so to say, to what extent and when the upayas will give results in terms of if a person performs, what astrologer prescribes, will the results can be seen and manifest immediately through a couple of months, years, or maybe even in the next incarnation? So it's a kind of two questions.
It is two questions, and I think there are 3 or 4 answers, depending on the perspective we look at it from. It's a really, really nice question. Thank you. And it's a really, really nice question. All right. And it is something that we also, as astrologers, study a lot to try and understand whether this remedy is going to work for this person right now. Okay. There are largely 2 ways of giving remedies by the astrologer. Firstly, there could be one remedy which is given for life and another remedy which is given for the near and now.
Yes.
The remedy which is given for life may not work now.
Yeah, logically.
Okay. Yeah. It may not work now. And then the question is, work what? What is working? All right. What is really working when it comes to here and now? And what that implies. What we at Jyotishas like to give is one remedy which is a cover-all remedy at first, so that when the dashas change, you're still covered.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And so this is coming from Parashara, where we learn about Shubha Kendra. Shubha Kendra. So he states that if there is a Shubha Graha in Kendra to Lagna, a benefic Graha, benefic meaning what? Not lordship necessarily. The only lordship he considers benefic is Lagna Lord in that context.
Yes. Yes.
So he says either it's a natural benefic, Jupiter, Mercury, Venus. He doesn't even mention moon unless certain criteria are there. Okay.
Right.
With Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, absolute benefics. If they're in Kendra to the Lagna, great. Worship them. Jupiter, Shiva, Venus, Devi, Mercury, Vishnu.
Vishnu.
Pray that they're well placed enough to give you the results early. Okay?
Yeah.
Because if one of them is Astangata, or setting behind the sun, what we call combustion commonly, it may not be available, that remedy. You have to do something extra with the mantra to get that remedy to work. That's technical. We're getting into mantra and tantra and yantra and all of that.
The beautiful thing.
Surely. Now, excellent study. And then he says, Lagna, Lord, and Kendra, Gayatri mantra will work. So he's saying with Lagna, Lord, and Kendra, you need to be baptized, initiated, Diksha. So Lagna, Lord, and Kendra will become auspicious after Diksha, otherwise not. So if a Christian comes to me and I see Lagna, Lord, and Kendra, I say, please do your Baptist mantra, the mantra that you are baptized with, the Holy Father prayer, most likely.
Yes.
Okay? Most likely.
Yes.
All right? Whereas the Trimurti, Shukra, Buddha, and Guru, there can be other forms of within Christianity as well. Venus is definitely Holy Mother.
Yes.
You pray the person is not Protestant, where they're told not to say Ave Maria. Okay? You pray that they're not, because otherwise, this is why I have a complaint about certain offshoots of religions when they start going away from the grain, which was working for so long. The remedies were there, you left them alone.
Right. Okay? It worked, yeah.
Yes. So Catholics, they will jump on board with the Ave Maria straight away. Okay? Straight away. Excellent. Oh, Holy Mother.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody might ask me after this session, Visti, do you prefer Latin prayers for the Christians? I'll say, they work, so why not? But if you ask me, they should be in Aramaic. I just don't have them in Aramaic. Okay? Somebody say, what about the Orthodox Christians in Greece? What will they do?
Yes.
Orthodox Christianity has translated the prayers, and that works for them. It works. I cannot speak ill of it because it's prayer. All right?
Yes.
But is it mantra or is it prayer? The original Rishi did not speak it out in that language. I want the original Aramaic. Got it?
Right.
That is my opinion on that. It's my opinion. It's not what people should do. The Latin prayers work brilliantly. Okay?
Yeah.
Orthodox Church is very interesting. Okay? Because they have detailed, long prayers for different saints also.
Yes. Yes.
William Lilly speaks about worshiping angels. Okay. Let me not get off on that. This very exciting topic for me. I love it. Just angels, prayers, mantras. Let's go. Okay. So I'll hold myself a bit back. But you came back to the time when the remedy will work. Okay. So here's the thing. Number one, it is very likely we can get a remedy to work soon if it is done properly. If you are doing a remedy for your dasha, some of the first remedies Parashara speaks of, he starts talking about dasha. If you're doing a remedy for dasha, which dasha? Antadasha. He actually speaks of Mahadasha remedies, but actually Antadasha he is more prolific on, he's more vocal on. If you do a remedy for your Antadasha, it should work within 2 days. 2 days. In fact, I say 2.5 days. The length of time it takes for moon to transit a sign. It will work that fast. I have seen it with my own eyes right in front of me how it works.
And very briefly, like in a class. Actually, you gave me something very specific. I did it for the 40 days. I will not speak here. What is it about? But we can say, okay, it's connected to the Garuda Purana, okay? And I'm in Chandra Shukra. So Shukra is my Antardasha. And it is very much connected to my Shukra. And the Vara as well, you know that. And it worked immediately the first and the second day after I complete the sadhana, the practice. Immediately.
Yeah. And that's why it worked so fast. Because you are running the dasha. Dasha is here and now. So it should work here and now.
Yeah.
I say 2.5 days because of Chandra transit. Yes. Now, and that means where was that moon at that time? That's the idea.
Yes.
Now, so some remedies can work immediately. That doesn't mean you should stop after 2 days. One would continue for the time, because then there's the whole point about how long do we want the remedy to last even after the 2 days have started. So then we want to continue for a period of time. It could be 2 weeks, 13 days specifically, 13 days, 21 days, 40 days. Some people I say can keep doing for 3 years, keep doing. So remedies can work very fast. But here's the thing I didn't say. I didn't say who did the remedy.
Yeah.
This is the problem area.
Yeah.
This is where we astrologers are really running into difficulty. And the client, even more than the astrologer, I dare say, because we can look at charts and see this fifth house of mantra bhava is not functioning. How are we going to get this mantra to work at all? The person can have children and everything from that fifth house, but that mantra is just, gone, zero.
Right.
Unless the fifth house is having a good yoga with Jupiter or Mercury or the Lord of the fifth house, or somehow got strong.
Yeah.
Mantra has difficulty manifesting. And then we start running off and saying, please have somebody do the mantra for you.
That's a tricky.
What does that mean? Puja.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the dilemma we have. All right. Because as soon as I tell a person to do puja, until they meet a pujari. What do I do? What do I do? They'll come back to me with the same problem. I said, am I going to be a therapist or a Jyotisha for this person? Because the same problem they didn't solve because they couldn't do the remedy. And maybe it is. If I tell them you need this to be done and they say, look, they can't do it, or maybe they will do it. Thank God they'll do it. Okay. If I see a chance that the mantra will work, I give them the mantra. In fact, my default opinion is just give them the mantra. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes. And it can. And now here's the next thing. A family member can do mantras for other family members. It will work even better than a puja. Okay. So let's say you're a mother or a father and you have kids or grandkids or whatnot. Your mantra power can beat all the pujaris hollow in India. All of them at once, you can do this. Quick, you can just cover every need you have in the family. If you have mantra shakti, that means if you had that blessing, is the fifth lord strong? Is the Mercury linked? Is Jupiter linked? One of these three, just one. That's it. You can take off. You can cover so many people's needs with this.
That's a secondary mantra option. Yeah.
Family, blood is stronger than anything when it comes to mantra. Very strong. It can cover all the needs. It's very powerful. Blood. Okay?
Yes.
Because you have also a very clear intention.
Yes.
There is love, there is affection, there's the strength of that emotional bond you have to family, hopefully. Your mantra is going to be powerful just because of the strength of the emotion.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You pray for them. I hope you pray for them, not against them. And that would be a miss. So, yes, mantra can work very quickly if it is given at in the right context for the chart. If the dasha is not on, which is related to the mantra, it might be difficult for the mantra to manifest. Okay?
Indeed.
Now, when I say that also, the dasha is relevant because of the person's desires and wishes. So obviously, if you give mantras to solve desires and wishes of the person, you're automatically triggering the dasha because the dasha told them to have those desires and wishes to begin with.
Yeah.
Smart, eh? You see what I did there?
Yes.
No? Whatever they came for, if they do the mantra for what they came for, it's most linked to the dasha, and the dasha is telling us what they want anyway.
You close the circle.
Indeed. Another part of this dilemma is that the person may come with a desire, and that desire is always based on the Vimshottari dasha or other Udu dashas. Nakshatra dashas, I can say, is a general trend, because in the nakshatra is our mind. Our thoughts are in the nakshatras.
Yes.
That's how our prana moves. Then there's the other part of this which is what is happening. What is happening is not necessarily what's happening in our mind. Okay? What we want and what the world is giving us can be two different things. That's for that reason I have a very strong preference to use a dasha called Narayana dasha. If I am thinking, what do I do with this chart? I open Narayana dasha. Okay?
Right.
Because Narayan, he will tell me exactly what's going on.
And exactly. Actually, I think it's even here. Yeah. This is the
Narayana dasha, yes, by my Guruji, yes.
Yeah.
And very useful dasha. This is what is happening. And the way we use it, you can even see what remedy they need. Not what they want, what they need. Because Narayan will tell you what you need, not what is in your mind. Okay? to deal with the circumstances here and now.
Right.
Those remedies are the best based on Narayan Dasha. Okay. How to figure out the remedy, I won't say today.
No.
You know, I'll keep something for myself. All right.
Of course.
But that's the idea. Okay.
Okay.
And so when you ask, when will it fructify? An astrologer can see when it'll fructify based on the chart. And what dilemmas we have when dwelling on that is, however, only about the person's ability to do the mantra. That is all.
Nothing more, yeah.
That is all. It's not based on the Jyotisha or the chart, really. Well, it is the chart, obviously, 5th house of mantra bhava. There's another factor, can't get around. If the karma is fixed,
yeah,
you can't do anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I have some, I don't have to go so far to speak of this. B.V. Raman. Okay. His 5th lord, Mercury, is in Marana Karakstan in 7th house. Joined Mars in Marana Karakstan in 7th house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Horrible situation for the 5th house.
Yeah.
The 5th lord is the one who joined all these. Okay? Horrible. He had to see the loss of a child, a son of his committed suicide.
Correct.
Do you think B.V. Raman had a suspicion that could be the case for his son? Yes. He knows his chart. He reads charts all the time. Read charts all the time. There's a Papa Kartri yoga on that 5th lord from Sun and Ketu. B.V. Raman must have been screaming inside when he saw that yoga.
Yeah.
Okay? He must have seen it and said, I don't know how to do. It's there. He must also have tried remedies. One of his most clearly well-known mantras that he was doing for a long time, he even established a temple, was Raja Rajeshwari. Raja Rajeshwari is Tripura Sundari. It's the Mahavidya of Mercury. He was doing the Mahavidya mantra for Mercury. So now somebody should ask, with all his remedies, how come his child did not survive?
Fixed karma, yeah.
That Mercury is retrograde. It won't listen to anyone. Won't listen to anyone. The karma is fixed in stone. It will not break until the karma has finished. It will not break. So we astrologers run into those situations where we say, Hare Bapare, what do we do here? We can't do anything. If I see a retrograde planet causing some karma, I do this. I say, I can only cushion the blow. Okay?
Right.
I cannot remedy the problem. I can cushion the problem so that when it manifests, that you have enough circumstances around you to deal with it. Okay? It could be in his chart, there's a very nice Jupiter, very nice Shukra. Okay? That can cushion it. I can show the chart. Just to make sure that it's not just theory here. Here's the chart. Yep. On screen. And I hope it's visible. And so if I take the North Indian chart, maybe some who like the diamond chart are feeling that I've absconded a bit. Brigu Chakra. So the 5th lord is Mercury. Mercury is here. All right. This is the Marana. That's negative. It's joined Mars and Marana. That's negative. Okay.
Yes.
It is also retrograde, you will notice. Where the underline is retrograde.
Yeah.
I cannot do anything. There's Surya Ketu, Papa Yoga on this. I cannot do anything. B.V. Raman couldn't do anything. It's dridha, rigid and fixed. You cannot stop it. Okay? Now, some people will ask after hearing this, Ketu and Rahu are also retrograde all the time. So are they dridha karma? No, they are not. Not necessarily.
Right.
Now, dridha karma happens if the planets are in fixed navamsha and in retrogression. The other signs are not fixed.
Okay. Yeah.
If a planet is afflicted by 3 or more malefics, like 4 malefics is possible, it's very hard to change also. Very hard. You can with a little bit of effort with 3, but 4 is very hard to change. There are ways with 3. Because 3 malefics means it's like Nietzsche, and you can do something to deal with Nietzsche. So in his case, there's just no chance here. Okay. So what could we do instead? I will look, is there a Shubha Kendra? Venus is in Kendra, Jupiter is in Kendra. So I could ask for Shiva worship to be done. My scribbles here. Devi worship. So he was doing Devi. He was doing Tripura.
Tripura, right? Yeah.
This will cushion everything. It'll make things easier when the event occurs.
Correct.
So that is the answer. And there are many who have had to do remedies. Rajiv Gandhi, this is his chart. Okay. I'll just make sure we have the Rashi chart here. And so Rajiv Gandhi, what was amiss in his life? He was warned that it was a bad gochara and transit when he was going to South India to start his campaign there. Okay, he was warned, don't go. The security is on alert. You know, there could be an issue. He was warned. He did not heed the warning. Okay. Some people will say when it's your time to leave the planet, all warnings you will not heed. You will ignore them. But somebody will argue, so the remedies didn't work. He must have done many pujas and remedies before this. He's a politician. Pujaris will be standing in line to do remedies for him, and they will do, and he might ask, and he'll go to astrologers. He will. Okay? He will. In fact, if you're a successful politician, you have an astrologer on call. Doesn't matter where in the world you are.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yes, most likely. They seek advice from different people on this. And so remedies must have been performed or attempted to be performed, but he didn't heed the warning. So the remedies didn't work because he didn't heed the warning. See how the equation is?
Yes.
Equation is?
Yes.
And so either it means it is time to die. That's Dridha. Or there's some bad yogas in the chart, which are difficult to deal with. You'll see none of the planets are retrograde in the chart. Of course, you'll argue nodes are always, but otherwise, no.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, somebody might say this is Kala Sarpa or Kalamrita yoga because all but Saturn are involved in this yoga.
All but Saturn, yes.
Yeah. I might call this Kala Shani yoga. Everything is between Shani and Ketu.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Or is it Kala Ketu yoga? Good question, right? All right. So I'll leave that be. I'll leave that out for now. But the point is that he did do he must have done some remedies, or some people must have done remedies on his behalf and they didn't work. Can you see in the chart the remedies won't work?
Yes.
You cannot, because it wasn't death. Is very difficult to avert. So this is an example of, hey, no, it's not the chart. It was because death had come. Okay. And it shows in his chart. If you see his Aruda, the third from his Rahu, this is called Dushta Maran. He has to have a bad death. That's how death is supposed to happen for him. Okay. Yes, when death comes, it's very difficult. Mahatma Gandhi, okay, also a bad death. All right. And not that I want to dwell on death alone. What if I dwell on a different topic for him? What if I say, okay, he's a politician and all, and in the partition of India, what was he doing? He was fasting to reduce the impact of the partition, okay, which was a horrible event for India. All right.
Yes.
People today even curse the event that it even occurred. All right, because of the impacts it had on many families. So he was fasting. What was he? Why was he fasting? 12th house is the house of fasting. So he was attempting to fast to overcome the problems. All right. That was his method. That was his way of going about it. But you see, when you analyze a chart of a politician, one thing that you should pay a bit especially close attention to is if the actions the person is committing is related to a retrograde planet. Again. Okay. Now, if you're talking about something like a partition, it could show up as enmity, fights, all of those kinds, competition, right?
Yeah.
Now for that you will see sixth house, yes, sixth house or third house, one of the two. I could say very simply, yes. Jupiter is the Lord and Jupiter is retrograde. So when he has to get into a fight or a competition or similar, some events will manifest that he cannot change. Dridha. The leader of the nation can't change this. Okay. The leader of the nation can change the whole nation, by the way. All right. So you want a leader who has very good yogas in the chart. Okay. To give you an idea, if there is one thing you want in a leader of a nation is a very strong Chandra. It could even be Chandra, who is very weak, who got Nicha Banga. That's even better. Then the nation is in suffering and they come out of the suffering. All right?
Okay.
Then it's perfect, because then they can take the nation very high. From a low point, they can take them very high. Nicha Banga. All right?
Yes. Yes.
Those are brilliant yogas. And in Gandhi's chart, Mahatma Gandhi, Chandra is joined Rahu. That shouldn't make me terribly concerned. It's in own sign. That shouldn't make me terribly concerned, because I need one more malefic to justify a setback. Nobody else is seemingly causing a problem. Shani in trines is not really a dilemma. So the problem is not coming from the Rashi if we should see a bad impact on the people.
Yeah.
It's not coming from Rashi. It must be coming from somewhere else. Okay? It is, but I'll leave that before. All right? So this is about remedies. This is why I brought this up. These are important people. They must have done remedies, but there are some things you can't stop.
Yeah.
You cannot stop.
Yeah.
So this is the answer to the topic on remedies.
The answer is beautiful. As everything else that you're always teaching us in a way. Whenever I speak with you, whatever you say, it immediately,
I hope so,
I feel it is a lesson. For the very end of this video, can we go a little bit through your perception actually and your life experience? Because I think it was in the second video or so about who can be an astrologer. But before that, I asked you how much sadhana is important for an astrologer and everything else. And it's very important, actually. Yeah? But my question for you is your life experience on the subject of the fate and free will, because we talked about upayas right now. Are they intertwined through, cause and effect and not opposite as many like to think, like, fate and free will? Okay. And how do we see the degree of so-called degree of the free will through the Janma Kundali, through the birth chart?
Good question. And it is a question which we as astrologers practically address. Okay, practically address. We assess free will in a very simple way. There is a yoga given in the Shastra, Jyotisa Shastra, where the person can be like Brahma. Okay, be like Brahma, which means they can create anything. Anything is at their behest. Okay, there's a statement given: if all the grahas are in upachaya, then the person is like Brahma. Okay,
always creating, yeah,
always creating, which means they have complete free will. You can create anything. In fact, the statement given is they are like Brahma and they will be reborn as the next Brahma. There's even a statement given. Amazing. I think somebody's going to be reborn as Brahma. Wow, they'll be the next Brahma.
In one moment, something similar, but it's not everything is in upachaya. It's also 12th bhava involved, but third and sixth are extraordinarily powerful and emphasized in the chart of the Nikola Tesla. He was creating non-stop.
You need that power. Your Dimanta yogas come from third and sixth house as well. Because if you're like Brahma, you're studying Brahma also, like a Brahmana, constantly studying. All right, yes. learning, trial and error, learning, trial and error, keep trying. That's third and sixth especially. All right, 10th, 11th are different. They are looking for the teacher to teach them something old, which has already been taught.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So tradition is 10th and 11th, and research is 3rd and 6th. Tesla will, of course, have many plans in 3rd and 6th because of that.
Yes.
But get back to the free will part in this, okay? So we say as a result of that, upachaya, 3, 6, 10, 11. That's with 1/3 of the zodiac. So people principally have at most 33% free will. So there are things you couldn't choose. You couldn't choose who your mom is, your dad is, your kids, how they'll be born and how they'll be raised. I mean, you could try through gene therapy and whatnot, but really you don't have, it's like a Russian roulette over there. You never know what will happen.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You think you can choose your spouse? Try. Try.
Not a chance.
Okay? You can choose how healthy you'll be. You already know you're going to lose over there, right?
At the end.
Yes. You can choose your career. But even then, you are choosing what you will do as your work, but you can't really choose where you'll work. Okay?
The circumstances and so on. Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
So there are many things which we would hope we could choose, but really we can't choose. So when people say, oh, but Visti, how does it depict my free will? I say, which free will? Show me where it is. Show me. I can choose to pick up this cup. Take it. Take that cup. Keep the cup.
Right.
All right. Keep the cup and run with it. I can choose. I will hit you right now, Visti. Hit me. Keep the hit. Go. Keep going. Keep going. Try your best. And then you'll see what happens after you that and how much free will you have after hitting me when the police shows up.
Yes.
All right.
Cause and effect. Yeah.
Cause and effect. Yes. So really, how much free will do you have? Oh, Visti, I could choose to go to jail. And after that, your free will is ended. So those are really not choices.
Correct.
You have a certain amount. Now, when I then asked my Guruji, okay, Guruji, 33%, he said, yeah. Relax, it's even less. because who says you even have all 33%? That's the maximum you can get. So if the 3rd, 6th, 10th, and 11th are very strong also, I mean, when I say strong means the lords of those houses are in those houses specifically. All 4 houses, excuse me. Okay? Then you get all 33%.
Yeah.
But let's say 10th lord is not in 10th, but 11th lord is in 11th. Okay, from 33, we drop down that 1/4 of that. What is that going to be? Yeah. So 33 divided by 2 is going to be what? 16.66%.
Yeah.
And then half of that is going to be, is that 8 point something, right? So every of those upachaya bhava that you're missing, you lose about 8%. So maybe somebody says, Visti, I don't have any of my upachaya lords in upachaya. Do you mean to say I have 0 free will? I say, congratulations, you're not going to play God anywhere in your life.
Yeah. Good for you.
Good for you, actually. Good for you. Because we astrologers look at those upachaya houses and say, oh, there's a graha in upachaya. Okay. So when I have to give the prediction for that upachaya, I cannot say exactly what you will do, but most likely you're going to ruin it.
You mentioned something very interesting. I have a very quickly about the so-called theory of mine, so to say. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why it is like that in the world today, because we are playing gods too much. So imagine that we have enormous 100% of a free will. This will be a complete disaster.
Yes, the cause and effect is relevant for us to be able to see what works and what doesn't work, right? That's something that researchers appreciate, that they can see, well, I did this and I got this result. That result is not what I wanted, so I will try again in a different way because I'm still dependent on what the result is, right? So having known that, then I say, okay, look, you don't really want free will, okay? Yes. Because you're most likely going to make a mistake. And we astrologers sit and look at those houses and say, all right, there's a yoga in that house. That means it's left for their free will. The dasha has come for them to be tested on their free will. I'll ask them what happened after the event. Because after the event, they'll tell me how much they screwed up that house. That's really what we're looking at, you know? Because as soon as you have free will, you're thinking, oh, maybe I can do something which people don't normally do over here.
Yeah, whatever I want.
Whatever you want. And you're playing God with that house is the point. You're playing God and you are most likely going to make a mess.
Yes.
So when Parashara speaks of these, he says, okay, 10th Lord can be good in houses, but the 3rd, 6th, and 11th Lord will most likely ruin the house. He considers them more malefic than the Dushtanas.
Yes.
He considers them worse than Dushtanas. 11th Lord, 11th house planets that you will make a big mess, he says. Okay? Is the point. He doesn't say that literally. I paraphrase and say, look, that's what he means by that. All right? Yes. That's how we are taught. So free will is a bit of a misnomer in my experience. And trust be told in this, that as soon as you have to reinvent one part of your life in this way with an upachaya, it's going to require a lot of mental power from you, and it's going to have you thinking in terms which you know you can make big mistakes here. You're working in a place of sensitivity here. You're working in a place where you're going to do something which is out of the norm, And I say not out of the norm as in it maybe you'll do something new and great for the world. No, not it may not be. It's something that is going to cause problems to others. You are most likely going to hurt others.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because in attempts to have that free will, you're pushing some people out so you can get more prana from them. That's what you're doing. So what is free will? You are telling people, give me more of what you have,
because
I
I
will
want
not give you anything in return.
Yeah. Like an energetic vampire. Yeah.
Yes. So so that free will aspect is a problem. Okay. It's always because it's always aimed at growth. You're growing. You're not letting go. You're asking for more. If you're letting go, you would leave things be and let things grow. C'est la vie. Let things just be. All right. But no, when Upachaya is coming in, you are accumulating more. That's why Rahu gets his exaltation in Gemini, natural third house. In Virgo is his Murtrikona. And Aquarius, Kumbha, the natural 11th house, is his
3, 6, 11. Yeah. Yeah.
It is, what is free will? Full Rahu power.
Yes.
Full Bhogi. That's what's happening.
And because of the desires and wishes accumulated through time, we are incarnated once again. Yeah.
Indeed.
Rahu,
he's ready to make it all start over again.
Yeah.
Keeps us in this world. The 11th house keeps us in this world, and 12th house helps us escape. Ketu is not invested in our free will at all. He's like, just leave the world be so we can leave the world. Okay? So when you ask about free will and fate, free will is complicated, and I would prefer that that life was a bit easier for most people in that regard. Because these houses will cause dilemmas.
Yes. Yes.
Somebody might argue 11th house is the house of gains. We need to have a bit of free will to get gains. Yeah, but let Durga handle that from the 11th, from the Aruda, not from the Lagna. Correct. Let it feed the bank account, not let you have to, steal from people. Okay? So that's the idea here.
Very nice.
That's my understanding, my experience in reading charts as well in that regard.
Vistiji, this was a phenomenal time spent with you. Thank you so much for everything. I know that we will continue. Sometime in the future, we can record something different.
If you permit,
form of lecturing and
if you permit,
yes.
There is something very important when we dwell on the individual, the person, the topic of free will. Okay. That is relevant for, here I come in the last leg of everything and present it. All right. That's relevant for seeing where the person wants to put their free will. Okay.
Right.
It's even possible they're not interested in putting their mind into their free will. It's even possible. Okay. But understanding what the mind is occupied with. Okay.
Right. Right.
And see, this brings us into a very interesting topic, which is relevant for the entire Jyotish Shastra. It starts at its root and sometimes is not easy to see. It's sort of hidden in the root. Okay. And that is, this topic is called Hora Shastra. Okay. Yes. This topic is Hora Shastra. So the topic was not Rashi Shastra. It was Hora Shastra. So we're always looking at Rashis and Rashi chart and everything, and we call it Hora Shastra. People call it Jyotish. Jyotish encompasses a much, much bigger scheme than just us reading charts. Right. Charts is Hora Shastra, or as in particular.
Yes.
Okay. So Hora Shastra, what is the meaning of Hora Shastra? So some people say it comes from the word ahoratra. Okay. Aho is day and ratra is night, and the abbreviated version of that is Hora, the distilled version, let's say. Okay.
Yes.
Some people say that Hora is a Greek word, which means hour. Well, I won't disagree there. It is a Greek word, but I am not sure the Greeks invented it. Maybe they did invent it, but we have the same word in Sanskrit. Some people say that Jyotish is coming from the Greeks because of the word Hora being Hora Shastra. All right? That's okay. Let it be from the Greeks. And then later they'll discover, oh no, it wasn't the Greeks who started, it was the Babylonians. Oh no, it wasn't the Babylonians who started, it was these. And then it will keep going further back, thousands of years. All right? They'll keep going back. No. In maybe another 1,000 years, they'll say Jyotish came from Denmark.
Yeah, from Visti.
Because there was a very important astrologer who's speaking Jyotish there, and he has been prolific on the topic. All right. So time changes so many things. Why dwell on those details?
Yeah. Let them have it. Yeah.
Okay. Let anybody have it. The point is that it's called Hora Shastra. Okay. Yes. And now, in that topic of Hora Shastra, this Ahoratra and Hora is relevant vis-a-vis the topic of Hora being half. Okay? Because if you divide the day and night, you're getting half. Half is day, half is night.
Yes.
So it's something that's halvening the chart, dividing into two. If you divide the Rashis, there are 12 Rashis, into two, then you will get, somebody will say, oh, you'll get 6 Rashis. Yeah. But if you halven them, how many portions do you get? You'll get 24 portions.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Instead of 12, you'll get 24.
Yes.
Somebody said, no, Visti, you're multiplying. No, I'm taking 30 degrees and making it 15 degrees. How many 15 degrees portions do I have in 360 degrees? I have 24.
24, yeah.
Okay. So then I have 24 horas. So half of it is that. And there are predictions given based on this. If something is in Surya Hora, then this will happen. If it's in Chandra Hora, it'll not happen, for example. All right? Or something is in Chandra Hora, it will happen. In Surya Hora, it won't, for example. There are ways. Even in Prashna, this is done. So this Hora concept is at the root of our examination of charts. And the reason I bring this up at this stage is because one thing we are not doing much of, which is not so popularized, but is depicted in certain charts, certain books and shastras, fairly modern ones also, is that some shastras call the lagna Hora. They will say it's a synonym for the lagna. Okay, Jataka Parijata is very popular in this. Whenever he says Hora, people say, oh, he must be talking about lagna. So why would he use one word for Hora and make it a synonym of lagna? And it's always lagna. Is it Rashi lagna always? Question mark, right? Then why would he have to say Hora instead of lagna? Is he just doing poetry? Why is he doing it? He is doing it to show that there is something called Hora, which is the lagna. An extra lagna, an additional lagna. Okay? And this Hora sustains our mind in this planet. Okay? If you know what the person's Hora is, you will know what the mind is occupied with, what they're thinking about. And I differentiate between the nakshatras and this because this is showing where you're putting attention. For example, in my chart, I'm born during the Kala Hora, the Kala Hora. So I'm now differentiating between 24 Horas, 24 hours, and each of these hours has a lord, a planet, which is not just sun and moon. You could get any of the 7 grahas as your Hora lord.
Okay.
So this is called Kala Hora. All right. Now, according to the Shastra, I should treat my Rashi Lagna Scorpio and my moon, who's Kala Hora, also as a Lagna. So I have 2 Lagnas in my chart. Now, that Rashi Lagna Scorpio will change after 2 hours, but that Hora Lord Moon will change in 1 hour.
Right.
So it's more sensitive. Now, there's this statement when it comes to Jyotish. That which is more sensitive dominates over the former. Okay? So the most sensitive will be a Lagna in one of the divisional charts. That will be the most sensitive. It'll dominate over everything else. Okay? Most dominant is most sensitive. Least sensitive is least dominant. So the year lord is almost not important. Some people will argue. Okay?
Right.
But the lord of the hour is more sensitive than the Lagna, so it's more powerful than the Lagna. And the Hora lord always wins. All right. If there's a choice between 2 options to read in the chart, the Hora lord decides. He decides. Okay? He decides what will happen. And so, if my Hora lord is in the 11th house, it doesn't matter where my Lagna lord was.
Yeah.
The 11th will be more important for me.
Then the Lagna lord, yeah.
Yes. Now, Parashara states, the Hora is the lord of the hour, the lord of the Hora, the Kshana, the lord of the moment, is lorded by moon for everybody. Okay? So what does he mean by that? He says, this is the Karaka. For everybody, also Visti with Hora Lord Moon, For Mahakalnath, I don't know what your Hora Lord is. Is it Venus? I'm not sure. All right. For everybody, their Hora Lord is like their moon in the chart. It's like an extra moon in the chart. It's like their mind. Their mind occupies that activity, constantly focusing on that activity. So who is interested in their upachayas? Excuse me. The one who has their Hora Lord in an upachaya. Maybe your Hora Lord is not in an upachaya. It's maybe somewhere else. Then you're occupied with that. Mine is in 11th house. I'm interested in my free will.
Yeah.
Am I making it better or worse? Next question.
Yeah.
If it was a malefic, I'm making it worse. If it's a benefic, I am actually having upachaya. Upachaya means growth also. It implies vriddhi, growth.
Yes.
If it's a malefic, I'm causing dushta or trishadaya. All right. So here is Visti, who is interested in improving, making his free will worse. I'm not restricting something. I'm growing something. Okay.
Right.
I'm growing something. So in a chart, the Hora Lord is important, and it's all about the mind. It's like an extra moon in the chart.
Right. If I recall correctly, I think my Hora Lord may be even Mercury.
Mercury? Where's your Mercury placed?
In 8 Bhava, Jyeshtha Nakshatra.
Of course it's in 8th house. Why shouldn't it be? You're very focused on the 8th house then.
Yes.
All right.
Maybe
you're interested in health. I think throughout your life, this has been a focus of your life. Always health. Whether it be from a spiritual perspective or material perspective, health was a big focus. Yes. You're occupied with those thoughts. Maybe you'll say with time, Visti, I'm interested in the occult. I say, yeah, surely at one point in time, you'll be interested in the occult with that combination. Yes.
The Tantra, the Jyotisa, the Kundalini, everything else. Yeah.
But because you're interested in 8th house is what is leaving us. So you want to see, okay, how much prana is leaving. Okay. How to see that which is leaving. How to quantify what is leaving. I can see how much I eat. What is leaving me. Okay.
Right.
How much do I lose? All right.
Right.
So then people get interested in spirituality eventually because they see, where is this going? Where do we go after death? Okay.
Correct.
So that is what is your mind occupied with? Now, I just said you can treat this as lagna. So there's one work, Jataka Parijata, who says, oh, you want to see if you will go abroad. You check 12th house from lagna, but also check 12th house from lagna lord, and also check 12th house from Hora. Correct. 12th from lagna lord will only tell me whom I consider my home. Do I like the people I'm living with, or do I want to leave? Okay. You know, remember 12th from moon is family?
Yes.
Right? Yes. 12th Lagna Lord works the same way. Lagna doesn't. 12th from Lagna is definitely not family. Definitely not. That is foreign place or losses expenditure. Okay? Sleep also. But 12th from Lagna Lord is not. 12th from Lagna Lord is what do I think of my family?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
12th from moon is how was I raised? 12th from Lagna Lord, who do I feel in family with? If afflicted, you don't feel in family with the people you're living with, that you grew up with, and you want to leave, you want to go abroad. But that's what you want. Doesn't mean it is what you'll do.
Very briefly, I think previously I made a mistake. My Hora Lord is actually Chandra and my Kala Lord is Mercury. But anyway.
Very interesting. But where is your moon?
Moon is in the 5th. Again, dispositor Surya in the 8th again. Yeah.
There's a link to the 8th. Fine. All right.
5th and 8th.
It is in the 5th as 4th Lord in the 5th.
Yeah.
You say?
Yes.
So then I will say, here's a person who is very interested in students.
And mantra topic, yeah.
Mantra, yes. That'll also be there.
Also, yeah.
But Putra, 5th house. Like you'll be a person who either wants kids or wants students. Yeah. That'll be the attitude. Have you been a teacher or a coach or anything similar? Trainer?
Actually, people like to perceive me like that and asking me to do it more openly because I use my WAC, and very oftenly there is a connection with the dispositor of Chandra is Surya in the 8th. Surya, Ketu, Yuti, and Mercury is further on. But the thing is that most of the time when I speak to the people, they immediately say, like, I don't know what have you done. I immediately stop, smoking cigarettes after 15 years or starting eating healthy or something like that.
Good at coaching.
In a way.
But pray do tell, have you ever done any work which is related to this, to teaching or coaching or students or anything like that, beyond Jyotish? Let's say before.
Actually, it was connected to the basketball in terms of teaching the kids, in a way.
Now we're talking.
Briefly, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
You are very invested in topics where you can have a forum where you can be an intellectual support to people.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. It is.
House.
It is interesting.
So there we have.
Very precise. Yeah. Yeah.
That is the thing which is going on. Now, I started a topic on the Lagna Lord and 12th from Lagna Lord, 12th from the Hora Lord, 12th from Hora Lord. It's telling us what is the blessing we have when we go to a foreign country. So this is because the Hora Lord is like Vishnu. It's really not us. It's where Vishnu says we should be sustained. So every house from the Hora Lord is what is sustaining us in this planet. It is the power of the moon to sustain us. That's what Parashara was trying to say. Moon is the giver of food. Hora Lord is like food. All right? So every house from the Hora Lord is an attempt of Vishnu to sustain us in this planet. And if there's one thing that India has, which is amazing in their Jyotisa Shastra, which differentiates it significantly from all other forms of Jyotisa Shastra, is the high emphasis on the moon. There's a standard statement in traditional astrology circles that if they don't read it from Lagna Chakra, they'll at least read it from Chandra Chakra. They prefer Lagna Chakra, but if they catch the Chandra Chakra, they can say a lot for the person. If Visti doesn't change for 2.5 days, don't worry. Their specificity will be lacking when they read only Chandra Chakra. If you use it with Lagna Chakra, it's amazing. But that Chandra Chakra is very important for sustenance. But from the Chandra alone, from the moon alone as the Lagna, you're not really seeing sustenance, but attempts to sustain something. Right. The Hora Lagna, the Hora Lord, not Hora Lagna, that's something else. The Hora Lord is telling me what is sustained. So Chandra is all about that. It's all about sustaining us in this planet, is my point. And if we have to do justice to the reading the chart, we have to also read that, because that sustains every activity. But the way of reading it is a bit peculiar. All right? Because it's a very lunar-based reading of the chart. All right? Second from moon is about career, and 10th, but second very importantly. Hora Lord has a similar function. Very similar.
Okay.
They're all Chandra-based chakras. So when we talk about Kala Sarpa, Kala Amrita Yoga, remedies, free will, all of these topics, I have to at one point bring up, we're talking about Hora Shastra, right? So let's see the Hora in charts to really understand what's going on. So why don't we try that? I'll just show a few examples.
Yeah, why not? Okay. Beautiful.
And let us see here. I have here, I just remove this. And open this, and here we go. This is we were reading Mahatma Gandhi's chart earlier.
I'll
just bring this up. So he has in his chart, I've listed out here on the right, it says Jupiter is his Hora Lord. Okay, this is called Kal Hora. So Jupiter. Now in his chart, where is Jupiter? Jupiter is in the 7th house. In Aries. Okay. Now, if I see a planet in Aries and it's a Hora Lord, the person is very interested in what happens in politics, in the capital. Because Aries is the throne room. Leo is where the king lives, but Aries is where he works. Okay? Throne room is Aries. So if I see especially Atmakaraka Jupiter as Hora Lord there, the person is themselves very interested in kingship. Yes. This occupies their mind a lot. Now, what if somebody asks Visti, how it's such that Mahatma Gandhi went to a foreign country initially? And I say, yes, 12th Lord from here is Pisces, the Lord is Jupiter, placed in the same place. So there's a good chance he will try to go abroad, basis this. Very, very good chance.
Yes.
So this is telling us, yes, this can happen. How will be his experience there? It is in Aries, it's Atmakaraka. Very high position will come. All right? Very, very high.
Accomplished abroad. Yeah.
Yes. And that's because this is sustaining him. It's giving resources to sustain him. How easy is it to be there? It's sustaining him very well. Jupiter's quite well placed. Somebody will say, Visti, Jupiter is retrograde. Isn't that bad? No, it's not here. Visti, it's in 7th house. Isn't that bad? That's Dikshunya for Jupiter. He could be punished a lot. but the retrogression makes it as if it's in Lagna.
Mm.
So the Dikshunya goes away. It's Digbala instead. Big blessing is coming from Ishana.
Mm.
The ninth house from the Hora Lord.
Baba wise, yeah.
Yeah. The ninth Lord from this Hora Lord will tell me the support the person will get from parents and elders. The Lord is again Jupiter. Very high support. Okay. Yes. Very high support. In those days, he would have a three-piece suit as a kid to pose for pictures and be sent to universities in the UK to study.
Mm-hmm.
Those days, he's born in 1869 in India. I mean, you have to be extremely wealthy.
Yeah, for that, yes. Yeah.
His family was very wealthy at birth. Very wealthy. He may be depicted as looking like a poor man. He's extremely wealthy. What else is going on here? How is his whole focus and attitude towards career? Or how much will career sustain him? Excuse me, not attitude, but what else? How will he be sustained career-wise? See, second lord is Venus in own sign. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Very, very powerful. Lots of sustenance for his career.
In Lagna, yeah.
Very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
What about the actual work? Will the work be sustained? 10th from is having Ketu.
Yeah.
The Ketu is good for work. All right? Mm-hmm. It's good for work. It's not good for much else.
Mm-hmm.
There's Saturn in Scorpio. Hey, this is Parivartana. So there's so it's good, but Saturn Ketu Parivartana means Saturn Ketu Yoga. That means lots of Shrad. There could be some big worries or setbacks that happen in his work. So it's hard to sustain his work because of that. There are many trials in the actual work, but his career is sustained. Between work and career. Second was his career. Yes. 10th is the work.
Yes.
So this Hora Lord is very important. What if I take the chart of something diabolical and despicable? Let's see that Ted Bundy case earlier, right?
Yes.
What is he sustaining? What does he think should be sustained? His Hora Lord is Venus. Okay? So what he thinks should be sustained is this Venus-Jupiter yoga. And you heard me say this earlier. Had only this Venus been alone, everything is fine.
But yeah.
This Jupiter is Marana, dragging down Venus. So that means he wants to sustain this ill behavior towards women.
Actually going in the opposite direction of what Shukra actually should be and how. Yeah.
Exactly, you got it.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the answer. The Guru Yoga is a horrible yoga in this chart because Jupiter's is in Maranasthana, dragging down Venus. Marana.
Yeah.
Yes. Imagine you get a guru who's teaching you to do this to ladies. I mean, what type of Dviguru yoga is that, right? And unfortunately, such gurus exist, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Mentorships exist. So this is where this is going in his chart, all right?
Disastrous, yeah.
What is sustaining his career? His career is sustained by this yoga, okay? So in other words, because this is fourth from Lagna, if he can keep his pants on and not run after women and torture them, his career will be sustained.
Cannot happen with him.
Yeah. Very hard, right? This is a bad yoga for his career to be sustained. All right. So he has to stop his career. How did that happen? He went to jail.
Okay. And the 10th from the Hora, again, is the 12th Bhava, yeah.
Yes. And the Lord is Moon over here. So it really just comes back to this yoga again. His whole career is dependent on whether he gets caught for ill behavior.
So it confirms over and over and over again. Yeah.
So this Hora Lord is really important. If the Hora Lord was different here, he may not have an interest in sustaining this negative behavior towards women. Okay? So, Hora Lord, what is sustaining you? This is the power of the mind.
Great importance. This was beautifully explained by...
Thank you. My pleasure.
Thank you for that. And actually, we've been through the Hora and through the explanation about the Chandra and importance and everything. So... have I understood you correctly? I think you have something this month in Leeds.
End of this month in October, 19th October, we will be having an event in Leeds indeed. That's right. And the topic is on the nodes and Chandra as well.
Yes. Beautiful. So it can be actually accessed and followed online as well, yeah?
It won't be live online, but the proceedings will be recorded and accessible online, yes. And of course, it's in person. So if you can come to Leeds, just outside Manchester, that would be very nice. Really nice event. Then I get to talk to people and see them in person. It's nice because there have been a few years where people have not been able to do that. And we see charts together, and we have a specific lineup of speakers on different topics. I will be speaking the first day and the last day. So Thursday, I will be speaking as the first speaker for a good bit more than an hour. And then on the last day, I have the whole day on Sunday. I think that's the 22nd. Of course, if anybody is in the area or wishes to come to Leeds, that'd be very nice.
So for the very beginning and the very end of the conference, actually, you will be the speaker. Okay, yeah. So actually, you will not be the party breaker like in Kala Sarpa, Kala Amrita, and Malika.
I'm part of the Malika. That's right.
Good.
Yes. So if I recall, it's vedicconferences.com that you can see this on. The whole lineup and the means to get there and everything about the place and area.
We will put the link in the description box as well. Yeah, yeah. Vistiji, thank you once again. It was beautiful.
Have a very nice time. All the best, and thank you for having me. Until next time. Yes.